When the box is this big, it's got to be something pretty cool, yeah. Well, I'm hoping that the size here is deceiving and that this isn't as big as the box may indicate, because this is my new Samson MixPad mixer. And this is something that I want to be able to use both here in the studio, but also on the go for some of my live sound and some of my public address announcing duties. So let's dive in and take a first look at the Samson MixPad. Let's go. Okay, I have my trusty knife. Okay, it's just a steak knife from the kitchen, but that's okay. We'll cut into this sucker and we'll take a look. And I'm hoping that there is a much smaller box inside here. I'm thinking JB Hi-Fi just maybe had a bunch of very large boxes hanging around that they wanted to get rid of. Yes, it's looking like that's the case because the contents is a whole lot of bubble wrap and then the mixer down in here. So let's pull it on out. Okay, so it's still a fairly large box. Anyone need any bubble wrap? Okay, that was perhaps the most awkward taking a thing out of a thing that we've ever had here on the channel. Let's put all that back in there. Okay, so the big box is out of the way, but you know what? It is still a pretty big box and a pretty big footprint that this mixer has. So this is the MixPad by Samson, the MXP124FX compact 12 input stereo mixer with effects and USB. So this is a budget to intermediate kind of range mixer, and the reason that I wanted something like this is for when I've got audio interfaces, and I've shown the Steinberg UR12, the Steinberg UR44, my Focus Scarlett Ride 2i2. I've got a few different audio interfaces, but none of them that actually have the ability to mix on the go. And as I'm starting to do more live work, sort of public address announcing for sporting events, as well as stuff here in the studio with streaming, where I want to be able to pull in an audio stream and a microphone, or even several microphones at the same time, that is what this unit is going to be for. Because I was going to say we can flip it around on the back there. This is probably a good diagram of what it actually does here. So this is the setup, and we'll unbox it in a moment and take a look. So we've got Class A mic preamps. So we've got 4 mic preamps up the top. We've got tape output and a mix output and a main mix output. So we've got RCA as well as 1/4 inch outputs on this mixer. We've got monitor outputs and headphones outputs, which are going to be important. We've got compressors. So we've got a single knob compressor on 2 of our mic channels, which is going to be handy to be able to compress on the way in when I'm doing live and recording as well. 3-band EQ on each channel, and it's got, as it says here, high quality precision faders. So I wanted an interface or a mixer like this that actually has real faders, because a lot of the Behringer and the other models that are similar to this have only the pop pans, the round knobs, which if you're doing a live sort of mixing, you want the ability to be able to slide mixed dials up and down. So having faders is so much better for that. So we've got our faders there. We've got stacked stereo channels here. So down the side here are all of our additionals. So we've got our 4 channels here, and the 12 channels are made up with these stereo channels that we have. Digital effects, which, they will probably never get used, because the sort of digital effects you get on a budget mixer like this are not going to blow anyone's socks off. And then we've got phantom power as well, which is really important, because it means that in the studio here I can use condenser microphones. So I can plug 2 condensers in here if I'm doing an audio stream or a video with myself and another person. Then we can have 2 mics in here, 2 condensers on there, both of them using 48 volt phantom power, and we'll be good to go. And on the back here it's got bidirectional USB interface. So that's the other cool thing about this, is it is an analog mixer, so it's not a digital mixer, but it does have a USB interface, which means I can plug it into my PC, and then I'm going to be able to send the audio output from this via USB. Now, it is only 16-bit, which is probably the big disappointment. It's not 24-bit audio, so it's probably not going to be something I'm going to do a lot of like high-quality music recording, but definitely for some of the live streaming and some of the stuff I do here on Studio Live today, this will be a good option for that. And because it's bi-directional, it means that it can send that back to the mixer. So that's going to be something cool as well. I can send the output from my PC back into the mixer. Now, the big question with this, as you know, I'm a big iOS guy. I love me some GarageBand and some iPad and some iPhone and some iOS. So will this be compatible with iOS? Will I be able to use it in GarageBand, and will I be able to connect it up and record into? Well, that's something that we're going to find out on a future video. So hang around and I will test that on the go. But for now, let's open up and take a quick look at this mixer in the flesh. Now, while I'm opening the box here, the reason that I went with this one as opposed to a Behringer or one of the other models, as I said, is the faders for starters. And I've had a lot of Samson gear in the past that has been really good, so really high quality. And for the price, you get a really good quality. As I said, this is opening up. This has got a bit of a strange box here. Oh, it's opening like that. So you can see here I've opened at the top and then it's folded out like that. So there is our mixer in there. So yeah, as I was saying, I've always found Samson to be a good brand for that mid-range, like that entry level. And because, look, yes, I could spend $1,000 on a mixer. This one was just over $200 Australian. I think it's about $150 US. I'll have links to where you can check out and buy this and similar products down below. But yeah, I've just always found Samson to be one of the better quality entry level. And Behringer are fine too, and some of the others are fine, but I like my Samson. This is it. This is my board. So very nicely laid out there. It's a nice weight to it, which is both good and bad. It means that there's some decent quality components in here, but it means that when I'm traveling and on the go, it's not going to be ideal for that. But let's get rid of some of this rubbish here, and then we'll take a little bit better look at what we got in the box here. Okay, so out of the box, we have the actual unit itself, which is very nice here. I like the faders. They are high quality. Like, you've got nice weighted faders there that they go down really nicely. Sorry, I'm a bit of a fader fan. And then we've got our master fader over here, which is all very good. Our panning, yep, our dials here have a centering nodule there, which is going to be very handy. Got our compressors over here, which we can dial up. That's going to be cool. We've got our preamps to plug in across the top here, all of our outputs and inputs across here. The rest of it is actually quite simple. At the back here, we only have the USB, the power input, and the power switch. And then in the box as well, we had a power adapter, which is just an Australian AC adapter. And we have a manual. Wow, we have a real manual that's actually reasonably thick that I will have to probably not read. I'm holding it upside down. I'll probably not read, but I'll play around and then go back and read the manual once I work out that I don't know what I'm doing. So that is it. That's what we have in here. So the size of this is probably a little bit larger than I thought just looking at the pictures. You can never quite tell. There was no pictures of anyone's hands actually using it, but I don't mind that because it's going to make it nice. It's still going to sit nicely on my desk over there. Going to have to try and make some room for it. I've got yeah, a lot of stuff with my two monitors and my speakers and my interfaces and things. Yeah, I'm missing out on a bit of real estate there, so we'll find out where it can go. But again, this is going to be a very handy addition. It's not so huge that I won't be able to throw it in my backpack. I'll have to find a way to protect it though when I'm putting it and using it on the go. But maybe I need to buy some sort of case or cover for it. But it's going to give me some flexibility and just the ability to have multiple microphones as well as stereo inputs coming into these channels and quickly being able to put them up and down using the faders is going to be pretty cool. So if you're in the market for something similar to this, if you're looking for a mixer or an audio interface or a microphone or anything, check out the links in the description below. I link to this and all of the other products that I recommend and that I use down there. And finally, just to finish off here, you might be asking, well, hey, that's pretty cool. Can I record 4 or 12 or whatever different inputs into my PC or into my device? Well, no, the mixer and the USB component will only export a stereo track. So the difference between something like this and say a 4-input interface is that I'm only going to get that stereo signal out, which is only going to have 2 channels of separation at very best. So if you want to record, say, a couple of vocals and guitars and then have the ability to post, so in post to be able to adjust the volumes and to adjust the levels, then this isn't going to do that for you. But if you want to be able to mix on the go for streaming, for live stuff, and then get a stereo output in the end, then that is exactly what this is going to do. So I get that question a lot. I thought I'd just cover it off before we leave. So, because people get excited, they see that they can buy a Behringer, 8-channel mixer and think, well, I get 8 channels of audio to record. Well, you do, but they mix down into a stereo. And the same thing with this. It'll mix down into one stereo signal, which is still cool for what I want to do and what the application is, but obviously it's not going to help you if you want multiple channels that you can then mix after the fact. So that is going to do it for now. This will definitely feature in some future videos when I start using it and demonstrating it, but for now I just wanted to open and take a look, and yeah, like I said, a bit bigger than I thought it would be. Thanks again for watching. If you've got comments, questions, or suggestions, you can leave those down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for sticking around. If you would like to check out the Samson MixPads or any of the other devices that I use and recommend, you can check out the links in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.